Hey, what's up, guys? Thought I would make a little video on guitar. I've been doing a lot of learning projects with meta learning and learning science, math, linear algebra, even doing some pre-algebra, basic number stuff, business, marketing, digital marketing, entrepreneurship, AI, automation, business automations, computer science, APIs, stuff like this. I've just recently started playing the guitar a bit more again. Yeah, and I wanted just to document my current learning system. I change it all the time, but I think this one's the best. So I'm using these books, basically these theory books. This is a pretty basic one. I've already completed that. Here's a Power Studies, Wolf Marshall. So I've got these Wolf Marshall ones. Berkeley Basic. That's essentially, I don't really use that one because I've got the actual real Will Leavitt or Levitt book that they use in Berkeley School of Music as their curriculum. And this is the most crazy one because it's so intense. I'm in part 2 of the book, it's called, and now we start working in the second position. And it's crazy because we do you're reading sheet music, right? So you got to learn the notes. You got to learn quarter, eighth, 16th, half, whole notes, then all the rests, and then time signatures. We do 4/4 C, which is 2/2, and then 3/4 so far. We've learned triplets. Right, and then you're learning, the whole chromatic scale, essentially, how to read the whole chromatic scale in the first position. And then you're learning how to read it in different keys. So we're C major. And I gotta get better at this still, but so that was all the natural notes in the first position. E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, C, or B, C, D, E, F, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, which is C major as well as A minor. I don't think we've learned how to read A minor yet. Just C major. And then we learn G major, which is it's the same as C major except for the F's are sharped. So that was all the notes in G major. I feel like we learned another major. We've learned another major. I feel like it's F major, maybe? No? E, flat major, or A flat major. No, B flat, A sharp major. That's B. That's B flat. I don't know. Anyway, we've done that, and then we've learned 3 flats. I know we've learned B flat, minor. No, B flat major. This is B flat major. You've got B and E flat. So here's a B flat, B flat, C, D, E flat, F, G, A, B flat. So B flat. So I don't think we've actually learned minors. We've only learned majors. So for some reason I feel like F major is everything, but it has one flat. What would F major have flat? E flat. That is. There it is. So we've learned C major, G major, F major, B flat major. I think we learned E flat major as well. But it's gonna have what? It would have, what was the third flat? E flat. A flat, that's right. E flat major is 3 flats. You've got E flat, so A flat, B flat, and E flat. So we're learning all these different keys, right? All of them. Learning how to read all of them. And then guess what? They switch it up and you start going to the second position. And now you're playing all these keys again, but in a different position. So your fingers aren't allowed to memorize where where the specific keys are or the movements are. You've got to know where the notes are independent of muscle memory, essentially, because you've got a different position. Anyway, that's just a little note on what I've learned so far. And this is classical music. This is like jazz classical. This is really hard-nosed stuff that you might not need as like a rock guitarist or a pop guitarist or country. But I just like getting better, and I like learning, and I like getting better at the guitar. So it's like a craft. I don't want to leave any blind spots. So from here, this is how I'm learning this stuff. What I do is I don't memorize pieces. What I do is every day I take a few steps forward. I think I try to aim for about 2 new pages a day, where I just go through and read the thing for the first time. Just like this. and basically just read the whole thing without a metronome, just to get like used to what's going on, the new key, the new chords, and then from there I'll just say, hey Siri, pick a random number, and then whatever number I got from 1 through whatever page number I'm on, I'll go back and do that page again. Typically with a metronome if it's earlier in the book. But this is just using interleaved practice, maximally spaced and interleaved practice to maximize amount of learning and transferability of learning and discrimination skills. And a lot of things I've learned from Make It Stick. Rather than just memorizing static linear pieces, I'm learning like how to read much better. In fact, the last lesson I was on yesterday was called like reading practice or something. So let's go back to that page. Reading studies, and it says, do not practice these 2 pages. Just read them, but not more than twice during any single practice session. Okay, I never do more than twice of anything in a single practice session. Do not play them on 2 consecutive days. Okay, I don't think I would do that for almost any of these. Do not go back over any particular section because of a wrong note. I kind of do that sometimes. Do keep an even tempo and play with proper time values. Okay? By obeying these rules, you will never memorize the reading studies. I don't agree. So they will always be good reading practice. I mean, I'll tell you, I've been doing this interleaving stuff, and I'll start to pick up songs. Maybe I won't memorize them without being able to read them, but I'll start remembering when I'm playing an old song that I haven't played in a long time. I'll remember what I'm doing. Like, I'll remember the song I'm playing, parts of it. So that's a false understanding. This guy will leave it. Obviously, he knows a lot about guitar, but what he doesn't know about is learning science, and he definitely didn't know about space practice, retrieval practice, interleaving variation, the forgetting curve. He knew mass practice. So, and he said, a little later on is recommended that you use this procedure with a variety of material. Okay, I already do it on all of it, as this is the only way for a guitarist to achieve and maintain any proficiency in reading. Interesting. Again, lack of empirical evidence on that one. Even when working steadily, we are not reading every day. So scare yourself in the privacy of your practice session. And I did this one, and really it wasn't that hard. And this is to say, this isn't a new position. I've only learned like a couple days ago. So anyway, just thought I would document this. I don't know if I'll do the same thing as I've been doing with these other videos where I talk for every day and log. Maybe I will. But I'm I started a couple days ago doing a daily session for this book. And then in between when I'm working, when I'm studying other things, I'll just come back occasionally and I'll just say, pick a random number, and then I'll do a random exercise from a book. And I'll tell you, doing that a couple times a day, my reading skill, it's just my guitar skill has been blowing up. It's like, it's hard to believe how effective interleaving and spacing is when it compounds over time. So, but that I'm not going to track that. That's the hard thing, is like I can't really track that. It's like a 5-minute thing at most, and a couple times a day. So, anyway, I'm gonna go do my new pages for the day, and then yeah, maybe I'll be back, maybe not. If not, this is maybe a start of a new chapter. So, talk to you tomorrow. See ya.